Live to live night news. If you're a lot like me, then you might not like you. Welcome to another episode of Hours of Clarity podcast. Today we have a good friend of mine, Jeremy Roberts, an alumni from Brentwood Recovery Home. I had the pleasure of meeting Jeremy on his journey through treatment here at Brentwood in Windsor, Ontario, and becoming really good friends with him. Somebody that I bounce things off of whenever I have trials and tribulations of my own along my journey. Whether it's small problems through relationships or, just friendships, anger, anything like that, I tend to have given you a call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so today I kind of just wanted to get your recovery story.
Okay.
Maybe a bit about where you came from and how you found recovery, maybe some struggles you went through. We can start wherever you would like, maybe.
Well, I guess, I don't know, I'll start back. I mean, like, I've always had a issue with drugs and alcohol, Matt. Like, I started smoking weed when I was about 10 years old, to be honest with you.
You think it's the environment you might have grown up in?
I'd say so, my parents, they got split up when I was about 7 years old.
Okay.
And, my dad worked a lot, and I had two older siblings. My older sister Jen, 7 years older, and my older brother Jeff, 4 years older. And
so you're the youngest?
I am the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah. And our house was kind of the neighborhood hangout for the teenagers, eh?
Oh, okay.
And,
from your brother and sister?
From my brother and sister, yeah. So I was exposed to things a lot younger than I feel I should have been.
So who'd you live with, mom or dad?
I lived with my dad.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom.
And he was at work a lot?
Yeah, he was at work. So like, say after school or something, all high school kids, they'd come to my house and I'd burn joints, and sometimes the liquor came out or whatever, and
that becomes the cool thing to do.
Exactly, right? And I looked up to my brother a lot, eh?
Yeah. How many years older is he?
He's 4 years older.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. He was always good at sports. And he started hanging out with the wrong group of kids, I guess, or his friends started doing the wrong things, I should say.
Yeah.
Just like adolescent stuff, and but I wanted to be like them.
Yeah, so it rubs off.
Yeah, so like my brother at first wouldn't let me try anything or do anything, right?
Right.
Being responsible, I guess, or somewhat responsible, not wanting his little brother getting high or drunk.
Right.
But
you tell a person no so many times,
right? They're
gonna want to do it anyway.
So then, I started smoking pot daily. Probably I was about 12 years old. I used to sell joints at grade school when I was grade 7 and 8 to the.
Isn't it kind of crazy to think about? Because I remember when I was younger, I was stealing beers from my dad, going to my elementary school in grade 7.
Yeah.
And these kids, like, they all told on me and shit. They weren't about that, you know what I mean? Like, most of them were just normal fucking kids.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I was already making it.
Yeah, like,
so I was the outcast.
I got a daughter that's in grade 7.
Could you imagine?
Right. Could I imagine? Exactly.
Right.
I couldn't imagine. Right.
Yeah.
And looking back, there was just there wasn't a lot of supervision around, and I mean it's that's about 25 years ago, and I think kids are a little bit different back then than they are today, right?
Yeah.
And I grew up really fast, Matt, and it became like the weed was a daily thing, and then it became every
dependency.
weekend. Yeah, and then every weekend it was alcohol.
Right. Did you finish high school?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I graduated. I was actually an honor roll student in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was funny because other kids would look at me and they were like, "How are you doing this?" And I just kind of flew by through high school. I didn't study for tests. I didn't.
But you showed up every day.
But I showed up. But I had 80s and 90s, and had I applied myself, who knows, right?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I always knew that people that I hung out with, they showed up for school and they would get 60s, 70s, and they didn't do fuck all either. So it's like part of just being there. You're going to absorb information. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So if you have a better intelligence level, let's say, you're probably going to excel and do fairly decent.
I would smoke joints at lunchtime, and I would go and I would be almost paranoid of getting caught high. So I would just go sit quiet
and do your work
and listen to the teacher. And I'd be high and I'd be in my own mind. I don't know if it helped me learn or what, but I would actually pay attention to the teacher and
come test time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would ace it, right?
But if you, like you said, if you had only applied yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
A little bit more, you know, like, and then, you know, that brings me to, you know, after high school, and I don't know if it was fear or what, but I didn't feel like I wanted to go to college yet. I wanted to work. I wanted to make money, right? And college could be happening after. Well, you know, that year off, I got a job, and it was it went from, you know, just drinking on the weekends to drinking all through the week.
Right.
Like, and I worked a 3 to 11 shift, so, you know, me and my buddies, we'd have a case of beer waiting for us.
Yeah, so you could drink 11 to 4.
Exactly. Right. And then wake up and do it all over again, right?
And at this point you had kids?
I didn't yet, no.
Okay.
Like, so I had my first daughter, Jocelyn. I was 19 for 1 week, and then I turned 20. Okay. So, but in between that, there was still more trouble. I got in some trouble with the law. I had to go to jail for a bit. And that scared,
how long
you know, that scared me, right? It was long enough that I didn't want to go back. Right?
Yeah.
And you know, that scared me. And
what'd you get in trouble for, if you don't mind me asking?
well, see, another thing, and I'll tell you, Matt, like, every time I've ever been in trouble with the law, or, you know, gotten bar fights or anything, it's because I've been under the influence.
Right.
You know me, like, I'm a pretty
reasonable guy.
Yeah, you know, like, and so one night I was all tore up and I was messed up, and I went to an ATM, and there was a nurse there. There's a woman there, and I don't even know what came over me, Matt, but I grabbed her and I demanded money.
Okay, so you robbed her.
I didn't get anything. I immediately kind of retracted from what I was doing, but I still grabbed her. I scared her. The act was there.
Yeah.
And then I fled the scene. And,
bro, I'm gonna cut you off right there, because there was a time when I was 17. I had just gotten out of jail, YO, and I was walking home drunk, and I seen this lady standing at a bus stop. Okay, and it fucking couldn't have been past midnight, because the last bus runs at 11:30.
Yep.
Right, so in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yep.
And I walked up like I was walking past her, and I ripped the fucking purse off her shoulder. It's the only time in my life I've ever done something like that. But being drunk, and like, not even as an excuse. I know consciously I made the decision before I crossed the street to steal this lady's purse.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all I can hear as I'm running down this alley was her screaming at the top of her lungs.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I got home and I only got, I think, $35 or $45. Do you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even like the dollar amount mattered at the time, because I had no idea what was in the purse. Right. So it was just an impulsive thing to do, like, for whatever reason.
And that's what I mean. And that's what I said. I don't even know what came over. Like, I had money in the bank. I had just gotten my vacation pay at work. Like, I was fine. But for whatever reason, I don't know if the devil came over me.
Bro, they call it spirits for a reason.
It was so weird, man, and I immediately regretted it, and obviously I was scared. And
you see on the side of the liquor store, it says wine, spirits, right? You know what I'm saying? They call it that for a fucking reason. Our inhibitions are lower, and we're susceptible to doing impulsive things. So what comes into your mind? Like, I tell people all the time, right? Like, when we were little, you know, when you couldn't read or write, you're trying to give your mom or dad half-eaten French fry, half-eaten cookie, you know, the chooch, you know, hugs and kisses. You know, you're also slapping your brother or sister, breaking their toy, or stealing a cookie and running. Like, you know when you're being bad, and you know when you're being good.
Absolutely.
You know, before you could even read, write, or comprehend fucking English language, you're given body language, right? So you know when you're being right or wrong. So there's got to be something that you're born with that's positive, good, and negative, evil, right? So when we lower our inhibitions, I think that has a lot to do with, like, bringing ourselves back into this mental state of mind where we allow impulsive thoughts to creep in.
Absolutely.
And it's like, why does it sound like you in your head whenever it's something that turns out to be negative? Like they say, the road to hell's paved with good intentions, right? Like, whatever intentions we have, we don't mean for these negative things to become of us.
No.
But somewhere down the road, it's like, doesn't matter what the intention was, if we're left to our own devices and our own thoughts, it ends up being fucked up. Like, we end up making the mistake, right? So I just kind of wanted to...
Yeah, no, and I can completely understand that, what you're saying, man. And like, you know, every time I've been in trouble, or, you know, did something like how many times have I woken up in the morning and said, fuck, I can't believe I did that.
Or not even remembering and hearing it from
or
someone
that
else.
too, yeah, exactly. It's like, I did what?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, I did what? Like, holy cow. And you're like, how the hell could I do that? And Matt, like...
And those memories make you want to drink again.
Well, yeah, because I want to
get away from
them, So, yeah. Anyways, so that all happened. I did a little bit of time and got out, and shortly after I got Karina, my ex-wife, pregnant, and I had to man up at an early age, man. We got our own apartment, and we had our first daughter, Jocelyn, and. I bought a house. I was able to buy a house. I worked hard. I was always a hard worker. But I liked to party on the weekends. I became like a weekend warrior.
Yeah.
And I felt like, life started going on, and I was able to buy a house, and I felt like because I was moving forward in life and succeeding and doing the right things, and having children, and I had some good jobs, and I was moving up in the company, and I ended up landing an apprenticeship for my millwright, and I felt like I was entitled
to drink
and to party on the weekends.
So what was your drug of choice?
So it was in the early days, obviously, like I told you, it started with the weed and the alcohol, and then, I was about grade 11, I'd say, and I tried cocaine.
No, yeah. That's detrimental.
And every single time I drank, it was
go.
like hand in hand, man.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I know, I tell people that all the time, too.
Yeah.
Drinking isn't my problem, but if I have 3 beer, I'm going to get to my problem.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to be smoking crack by the end of the night.
And it became to the point that if I didn't get the coke, I'd get like obliterated drunk.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that balance.
That's right.
So it wasn't good for anybody.
Not to mention too, drinking when you don't get what you want is very depressing and angry.
Oh yeah.
It's like, man, what do you mean I can't fucking meet the guy?
Yeah, you could be having the best night ever, and then one little thing happens when you're drinking, and it fucking throws everything
That's
off.
right. Yeah.
And
that one little thing could just be the dealer not answering.
Well, that's it, right?
Yeah. what do you mean you're not coming?
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, we're not good. What
fucking
the hell?
Super Bowl party's fucking ruined.
Yeah, and then it's the search. The search starts.
Yeah. Does anyone know anyone?
So for years and years, Matt, I went to work. I paid the bills. I was a father on during the week, but then I was a weekend warrior and a partier every weekend.
Yeah, father during the week and a fall down during the weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it sometimes went, from Friday night all the way to Sunday night.
Of course.
And
were you one of those guys that hid in the garage?
Oh yeah. The garage was my sanctuary, man. I had a bar all set up.
Don't bug me while I'm cleaning my
every
room.
Friday, it wasn't a question of when, or if, it was like, what time are the guys coming over? Or which ones, or this guy can't make it, so I'll call my brother, or I'll call my other buddy, or whatever.
It wasn't if, it was when.
It was yes, exactly. And it's like, what time you coming? And then so. My wife Karina, she grew tired of that, right?
Of course,
yeah. And then also she got a job at the casino. She was working midnights.
Yeah. Oh, that leaves you a free will.
Boom. It was a door wide open, and I would some nights she would come home, and she used to work the midnight shift, like 11 to 7, and she'd come home and I'd still in the garage, and I've neglected my kids all night. I used to rush them to bed.
Yeah, so you could hurry up your day.
Yeah, like my kids at that time were, say, anywhere from it went from say 5 years old till my oldest daughter was probably 10. A 5, 6, 7 year range, somewhere in there, right? And they're 4 years apart. So I had little children, and I'm rushing them off to bed, hurried up to
do your own thing.
Do my own thing, exactly. Neglecting them.
That's right.
How many times would they come out to the garage and say, "Dad, I'm hungry," or "Okay, I'll be in a minute." 20 minutes later, "Dad, and I'm out there just having the time of my life." So I thought, with these so-called friends, or I would say still like good friends, but some of the people I had around my house shouldn't have been around my house.
100%.
You know what I mean? whoever was really willing to party or throw down with me, you know.
That's right.
That's what it was, right?
It becomes consuming too.
It does.
Yeah. I used to tell people too, like, they'd see me partying, you know, on a Friday, bump into me on a Wednesday,
Yep.
you know, 5 days later.
Yeah.
Hey man, fucking, you're tearing one up tonight?
Yeah.
Buddy, I haven't stopped.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I partied Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's like, so whatever day you're partying, it's like, that's my entire week. Like, what do we, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not even like there was an opportunity to, like, really realize the impact, you know, so to speak.
Well, I tell you what, usually by Tuesday, I would start, you know, regretting my choices from the weekend. And
Yeah.
I would, you know, that old saying, I'm never drinking again, I'll never do this again, let alone Friday night comes. You
How many times you tell your wife?
Oh, fuck, man. I can't even count, bro.
Too many.
A million. So she grew tired of it, eh? And,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a story, man, is you know, after my 30th birthday party, so, well,
How old are you now, Jeremy?
I'm 35.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, I'm 35. I'm 36 on Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm just
Okay.
so I've been in recovery for almost 6 years.
Yeah.
So, or thinking about recovery for 6 years, right?
Yeah.
So, it was after my 30th birthday party. My wife threw me this big surprise. She rented out Eastwood Windsor and
What's Eastwood?
Eastwood is it's a big bar like right on the riverfront.
Okay.
And she rented up the whole top level.
Okay.
And threw a surprise birthday party for my 30th birthday party
cool.
for all my family and closest friends. Right, there was like 40, 50
Yeah.
people. She shelled out all the money out of her own account, and it was a surprise birthday party, right? And so we all had a good night. We all drank and we all ate, and all my aunts and uncles came, and my mom, dad, and brother, sister, or not sister. My sister was in Alabama at the time, but she still lives there. But yeah, anyways, closest family and friends, and so we had a great night. And we went home, and Karina went to bed, and I fucked off for 3 days and went on a coke binge.
Of course.
Yeah,
You couldn't even wake up with her.
No. So that's how I thanked her for that.
No gratitude, no appreciation.
No, and you know what, Matt? For those 3 days, I ignored her calls.
Yeah.
You know,
Made her worry.
Made her worry. Didn't know. So I come home, and she had enough, right? She put her fucking foot down, and she's like, "It's either drugs and alcohol, or it's our family." You know what I mean? And she told me that, and of course I pleaded and I cried and I told her.
Fucking crocodile tears too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'll be better.
Yeah.
I won't do this anymore. And just like I said 1,000 times. And,
just take me back in the house and then wait till Friday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I was good for maybe about a month or so, but then I started telling her, "Oh, I'm bored. You're working all the time. I'm bored on the weekends, and let me have a couple buddies over, and I'll just have beer. I won't do anything else." And
it always like.
And
that.
you know what? She gave in, and but then.
Do you ever wonder why they do? Why they give in like that? And I remember Paul saying to me one time, they literally give us what we want because they love us. They don't know how to not argue.
Oh, exactly.
And we're not giving them the respect, right?
And also, I would like be miserable.
Right. That's my point.
And then I would get my way, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm happy again."
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
But yeah, it's
so without that manic behavior, if we just knew how to respect our loved ones, they would never have to sacrifice all that fucking nonsense for us to get what we wanted. That would only be detrimental to them anyway. Right?
I didn't know any other way.
Right, of course.
Right,
of course.
That was like my hobby, man. And that sounds fucked up now.
Well, if you practice fucking skating for 25 years,
and then you take it away,
you'd be Connor McDavid.
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking practice doing drugs and alcohol fucking since high school.
That's what I mean. I became a pro, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, I don't like to laugh at it, but it's
the truth.
It is the truth. It is the truth, and it's sad, but yeah. So I mean, that's after she put her foot down, and I think the writing was on the wall in our relationship for a little while.
Yeah.
Before that.
So the first time you came to recovery, how old were you?
I was 33.
Okay,
33 the first time I came to Brentwood.
And you guys were still kind of working things out?
We had lived together. A lot had happened. A lot happened in a couple years.
Okay.
Right. So things got a lot worse. Right. this is when my DOC now came into effect. And that's crack cocaine. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Shortly after that happened, I realized that, she wasn't, we weren't getting along at all, living at home, living in the same house.
Yeah.
Then COVID hit, right?
Yeah, well, that's even more isolation. Yeah.
COVID hit, right? And I always hate to use COVID as an excuse, but this is my reality. I got laid off at work, and the only thing open was the liquor store, the dope dealer, and the grocery store, man.
And everybody had that fucking COVID money, so there's a drug dealer everywhere.
Right, exactly. And I abused it, man. And so, one night my neighbor, and me and him were having beers and stuff, and somebody was over in the corner and they were making the stuff and making the crack, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, what's going on there? And I tried it, and I was like, whatever. Like, at the first time, it didn't really do much for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I think this one time I did it, and I did a big blast, and it hit me, and I was like, holy fuck, and ever since then I was fucking hooked, eh?
Yeah.
And that's all I wanted to do, and I'll be honest with you, I stopped drinking, I stopped snorting, I stopped, and I just went for that, man. That's it was just that, and that shit consumed me like nothing ever did. I thought about it all the night, I had dreams about it, it fucking grabbed me like nothing ever did, man.
Yeah.
And that's when shit started getting real bad, and
definitely affects the home life.
Oh, bro, and that's the thing, right? Like, she knew I was fucked up on, like, but she never in her wildest dreams thought I was smoking crack,
Mm-hmm.
And when she found that out, it was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And that's like to her, it was a different level.
Right.
Because it is.
Yeah.
I
used to tell my fucking ex-girlfriend, the mother of my kids, I said, crack is just cocaine's cousin. Yeah. Like, it's not even a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just doing coke, just in a different way.
We all know it's right. The fiend and the chase and everything it makes us do. I was starting to, really, really get, like, change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And things were like, I was stealing.
120 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah. Well, by the time I came into Brentwood the first time, I weighed 145 pounds.
Wow.
And I walk around at 185 pounds.
Right.
Like right now,
Yeah.
And
so you're stealing.
Oh, stealing. I was out there breaking the law. I was fighting. I was robbing people, like dope dealers, like other addicts.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I had to do to get the drug, man. It was bad, man.
Yeah.
I was collecting.
There's no fucking peace.
I was collecting for a couple of drug dealers. I was, going with other people and doing things, and it was a crazy life, man.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, like, getting high is one thing, but when you have to get high, paranoid already?
Yeah.
Like, not knowing, there's no fucking, like, high in it. As soon as you get high, it's like that whole fucking, who's coming to my house? What the fuck's going on? Like, is this person, like, there's no peace in it.
Yeah, see, that didn't hit me till, like, the end, that paranoia,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, it took a good couple years for that to kick in, like that instant psychosis of going there, that paranoid. But, I was just losing my mind out there, man.
Yeah.
Just chasing everything.
Just to get high.
Just to get high, man.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. And now, I was never homeless, but I chose to be homeless. I chose to drive around in my car. I chose to sleep in it. I chose to stay in motels.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, we owned a house. My kids were there, but I chose to remove myself from that.
Yeah. That's probably about the only decent thing you did in that
period. Yeah.
Like, as much as it hurt them.
The thing was, when I did need to eat or really sleep or sober up or whatever,
where'd you go crawling back
that's
to?
Where I went.
Right.
And I subjected all that to my kids, and every time I went back, it was a fight. I felt like I was just destroying everything at that home.
Well, because truthfully, we're a burden at that point.
And we were, and my kids you know, we're worrying. My wife worrying. You know.
You ever think how you're in fear, anxiety, depression, you know, all these different feelings that you're having because of the drugs that you're putting first before your family, how they have the same feelings and you're not even around them?
No, yeah, exactly.
Like they're sitting at home with anxiety, fear, worry, and
every time the phone rings, they think, is this the call that he's either in jail or is he dead or like
that's real love. Like we don't have the ability.
No.
You know, like we're just, what somebody said today in group, like I'm just fucking wired different.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I knew how to be a kind, caring person naturally.
Yeah.
But I have to work my problems out with group therapy, and I got to work my problems out with guys like you that won't judge me for this shitty fucking.
Understand and each other.
Right. And it's like,
I remember when I first came to Brentwood. Like I came to Brentwood the first time. It was July 2022. That's the first time I came.
Yeah.
And I remember.
So wait a minute, hold on. July 2022. You were an alumni when I first came on program.
I was.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out today. Whether you came on is when I was on program or if you had just graduated.
Well, I that was my first time, and then I went back out after. But we'll get into that. But I remember my first time in here, and the reason why I actually came to Brentwood was because my neighbor, who I had started this kind of drug with, right?
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, it's not his fault, right? But like I make my own decisions, and I wanted to try it. He didn't want me to, but like we became pretty close. We were pretty good friends for a couple of years, and we were drug buddies or whatever. And you know, and he actually had come to Brentwood, right? Okay. And he had come a couple times before that, but he came home on his I think week 7 permission or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I seen him before he went in, right?
Yeah.
And I seen him after, like 7-8 weeks later.
Completely different.
Holy fuck, man! This guy, you know, he had a nice fade. He had some
body weight back. Yeah.
You know, he looked good. He was happy. He had the glow, man. That Brentwood fucking glow that we see all the time. You know what I mean? We're shining, right?
He's got color in his face again.
Yeah. And I seen the guy, and I'm like, holy fuck! You know, I want that, man.
Yeah.
I was like, if this guy can do that, I can do that, right? And that's the beauty of it around.
Yeah, it just rubs off on people, a ripple effect.
It is, and so you know, that's when I really started to think about coming into Brentwood, and he helped me get here, and he told me how to do it and go to detox, and I'll put in a call, and he did, and he helped me, and you know, he really did help me that time.
Yeah.
And then but anyways, back to what I was going to say. I remember the first couple of days on program, and Paul Kristolovich, our group leader, you know, he looked at me. He's like, yeah, you know, and he's like, you know, you probably think you're a good father, a good husband, eh? And me being where I was, like, I did this, I did that, me, you know what I did.
Yeah. It's a Jeremy show.
He stood up and he's like, you don't fucking love your kids. You don't love your wife. You don't love your parents. You know, like all this shit. And he hit me just between the eyes, man. I'm like. And it made me so mad. I'm like, well, how the hell is this guy telling me that I don't love these people? You know?
Because you chose drugs first.
Yeah. And now that I know what I know, and I realize that's not how you love somebody, and that's not how you show love, right? And another thing he said that hit me, man, right between the eyes, you know. And we were talking about like people worrying about us and stuff. And he's like, so he asked me, I think it was my second or third day. He's like, so did you sleep good last night? And I said, yeah, I slept pretty good actually. I mean, I tossed a turn. I got up a couple times, had a smoke, whatever. I told him. He's like, you know who slept really good last night?
Your wife.
Your wife, your kids, your mom.
Doesn't have to worry about you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They know you're safe here.
That's right.
And that I cried, man. I broke down in group.
Yeah.
You know.
Because the truth of it, Jeremy, the truth is, the worried souls and the sleepless nights that we caused.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that we're never going to be able to fix. The only thing that can make it feel better is to not repeat it.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like that's something I learned here. It's like if I can gain like connections again, people, you know, like I see pictures of you and your daughters on Facebook all the time. Like you go to their volleyball games, you're out doing outings with them. Like you're actively engaged with your daughters.
Yeah.
That's not an addiction. You know, in addiction. Totally different story.
Oh yeah.
How many posts did you make then?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I remember. Okay, so my daughter just had her sweet 16th birthday party.
Right.
This weekend, right? And I was able to be there for her, and I was able to, you know, help her set up, and I was able to, you know,
spend quality time.
You know, and I was able to do that, and same thing with the last birthday, and my other daughter's birthday, and you know, I remember for my daughter Jocelyn's 11th birthday, they had it at her grandparents' house, and I wasn't even invited.
Right.
You know, then that's where I was at then, right?
Yeah. But that's what we do to them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I remember Paul saying to me. If there's, you know, one word answer, what will you do for your recovery? It's the same thing. Like, what would you do for your dope? Right? Anything. Yeah, anything. Yeah. And am I really willing to do anything for my recovery? That's like, if someone told me today to suck a dick and eat a white piece of dog shit, I would say, how big and where is it?
Yeah, right?
If it was guaranteed to stay sober?
Yeah,
man.
I mean,
like fuck.
Pretty dramatical, but I mean, at the end of the day, Matt, yeah.
I don't know what to say.
No,
like,
you're right.
The point is like, man, like, I'm willing to bend over backwards.
Yeah.
Rob people, fucking the whole ATM story you just shared, fucking stealing a woman's purse, whatever it was, like, you know what I mean, like, fucking fighting, robbing, kicking doors in, fucking driving endless kilometers until I'm pretty much on E, you know, for some schmuck because I got to make a couple $100. Like, all that kind of stuff, I don't live like that today. Like, now I just have to show up, put in the work here at Brentwood, you know, helping guys out and being of service, and somehow my life gets rewarded. You know, like, you full-time employment today.
Exactly.
Right.
And I work with a guy that's great in recovery too, right?
And you just bought a car.
I just bought a car.
Right.
You know
what I mean? Your kids are in your life, like you said. I was able to set up the birthday party.
Yeah.
Help spend quality time before the party and get to watch her enjoy her fucking memories.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's something that we don't get in addiction, man. Like, we're slowly existing and dying.
Oh,
like, we're just there.
We're just getting by.
A burden on society.
We're just scraping by, and we're scraping by on the edge of death.
That's right.
And we're just we're
I want to talk about some of the feelings.
Yeah.
So as you, like, were realizing, like, say, well, let's start with the whole Paul thing. What week were you in? That was the first week when he hit you with those questions?
Oh, yeah.
So when did you really start realizing that you got to face your feelings and go through all of the memories and all of the things that popped up in your mind?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Matt. My first program, I didn't get deep. You know,
right.
It wasn't until my second program.
Did you say fear had a lot to do with that?
Absolutely, judgment, fear of being judged by other guys. And I mean, I did get deep, but it wasn't the dark inventories, you know.
Yeah, or completely honest.
I barely wrote any inventories my first program.
Yeah.
My second program, I wrote a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, filled the pages up. You know, it was. To be honest, Matt, I don't think I was done yet the first time I came.
Yeah.
I don't think I put myself through enough.
Yeah.
I don't think I at that time I had these expectations. We're talking about expectations this week at Brentwood.
Yeah.
I had these expectations that I was going to come to rehab and everything was going to come back.
Right.
I was going to get my wife and kids back instantly. You know what I mean? I was just going to go home. My direction. I never told my wife or kids this, or anybody really, but my direction was to stay in THU or to go to a dry house after my first program.
And you didn't.
And I didn't. I said, no, fuck that, man. I said, I own a house. What are you talking about? Like, I'm going home. Like, my wife and kids are there.
Yeah.
And I painted this picture also, Matt, that me and my wife were going to live happily ever after.
But you answered that question, anything.
Right?
I'll do anything, and then at the very end of the program, I ain't fucking doing THU.
No, I ain't doing that. I'm taking, yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So went against that, and 3 months isn't enough time to go by for the people that you hurt to heal.
That's right.
I know that we're working here daily and getting through our shit and sharing and we're consoling each other and we're working together as a team and alumni and everybody's just, and it's very uplifting here, man.
100%.
But when you go home and you don't have that support at home and you're not back here all the time, like I was.
It's hard.
It's hard as fuck. Yeah. And I found myself, all the old feelings coming in.
That's why I never left.
Yeah, right.
Like, fuck that.
And that's why I haven't left lately, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, all these old feelings came back, and
how scary is that?
It's fucking scary, man. And I'll be honest, Matt. Before I came to Brentwood, I tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
I was using to die at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had overdosed about 3 or 4 times. I was in and out of the hospital. I was even smoking fentanyl.
Yeah.
I tried fentanyl. I overdosed on that a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I was using to die, bro.
It's weird too with the fentanyl because when you overdose, it's like you just went to bed and woke up. There's no like impact of.
Oh, exactly.
There's none of this like this huge memory.
Yeah.
Like where I remember falling and I banged my head and there's no memory.
Yeah.
So it's like black and then wake up. So there is no fear in that type of an overdose.
Yeah.
Because you literally just wake up and then people can be telling you just overdosed. Like, no, I fucking didn't.
And you know,
like to you, you're napping.
Another time I mistakenly overdosed. I was sold fentanyl, white fentanyl.
Yeah.
Thought it was crack.
Right.
I smoked it in my downstairs bathroom.
Hit the floor,
and I overdosed in my bathroom. And about an hour later, they think I was out for about an hour.
Wow.
And my daughter woke my wife up and said, "Dad," my 8-year-old daughter at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, and woke my wife up and said, "Dad's been in the shower for a long time and he's not answering. I'm knocking and he's not answering." And they had to break the door down, like they had to break into the door, you know, using butter knives and jimmying it open, and they found me on the floor blue, and they called it. I was Narcan, I guess 6 or 7 times, nothing. They rushed me to the hospital. I was.
You're lucky to be alive.
I was in the ICU for like 3 days, and like you said, I woke up and it was like
nothing.
But listen, those 3 days. How worried were my kids? What's going on with
100%.
my dad and they lived that. They lived.
Yeah. They actually have the memory.
They do,
Yeah.
and I don't.
That's
And that's the sad part, right?
Yeah.
And
I have a good friend,
terrible.
Chris T-Bear, runs the Phoenix program at the Mission. He says, with the drugs today, you know, since the fentanyl that came out in the past 20 years, there's literally no rock bottom anymore. Before, you used to get so addicted to heroin and pills, like sure, there'd be overdoses, but you used to get so dope sick. You know, now they have withdrawal management where they're literally giving out fucking the methadone, but on top of that, they'll prescribe Dilaudits and other pills for people like Cadians or whatever the fucking other shit that people now get on a regular basis. So there's no rock bottom. You don't have to suffer the way we used to.
Nope.
You know, if you didn't have money. You know what I mean? So like there's no rock bottom, you just die.
Yeah.
You know, it's either you find some small window of hope where you reach out and you just hang on to it like I need to get help, I can't keep living this way, or you're fucking dead.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the sad truth.
And you know that event traumatized my daughter.
Yeah.
She was about 7 or 8 years old at the time, and she wouldn't even go downstairs and use the bathroom in my house. That's the fear I created in her. You know.
Isn't that sad?
It's sad, man.
That's
it's
pathetic,
sad.
bro.
It is pathetic.
Yeah, it's honestly like, fuck, bro. I'm so happy that I was such a fuck up that they kept my kids away from me.
Yeah.
They're like, I never knew my second daughter until I came to Brentwood. So I should say my first daughter, they like fought me in court, right? And then because I was in and out of jail all the time, I just didn't have a chance to even show up to try and get visitation, let alone what kind of fucking visits I did have when she was 3.5 years old. They used to let me see her for a couple hours every Wednesday, right, for 3 hours. And I fucking couldn't even manage to keep that up. You know what I mean? I had a visit on Wednesday. On Tuesday afternoon, the day before my, like, I think it was my 8th or 9th visit out of the whole time, like, you know, since she was a toddler. So I'd missed her life for like 2.5 years, didn't even bother trying, you know? I got caught with an assault rifle and a bunch of coke and went to jail for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Not to mention, like, I couldn't even, like, oh, I got a visit tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm going to take it easy today. No, I was in a fucking huge domestic argument with the girlfriend that I was, like, actually Alicia.
Okay.
So you know what I mean? Like, and I'm trying to bang on her door and show up to her house to the point where she's, like, you know, at her son's birthday. It was June 30th. And had to fucking call the cops. They pulled me over around the corner, and what the fuck do I got in my car? Yeah. Like 50 grams of coke, a fucking assault rifle.
Gone.
Fucking gone, right? Like, you know what I mean? But I remember even then, I sat back and I'm like, fuck, if they had only searched the wheel well, or the trunk.
Yeah.
They would have found some meth, they would have found some heroin, they would have found a handgun, they would have found the ammunition. Like, And I used to think, like, I got away with something. Like, no, bro. Like, I did fucking battle scars going through my entire life, doing everything the hard way. You know, like you said, even having to come to Brentwood and then going back out.
Yep.
It's like, not only do we not believe in things at first, like, I'm going to try it my way again, right? And you realize something, you come back, you take it way more serious, you write more inventories, like, yeah.
And you know, that year and a half that I kind of, like, in between programs, well, not quite a year and a half, but a year and about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
In between programs, that's when that paranoia, and that's when that psychosis, and it was...
Well, there was a seed planted.
Yeah, exactly. And every time I got high, it was just like, you know, I'm gonna get caught. Somebody's gonna know. Like, as soon as I smoked crack, the whole world knew I was high all the time, right? Like, and there was no hiding it at that point, because everybody expected it, right? And if I had disappeared for a few hours or something, everybody knew, right? And because that's where there's
no more benefit of the doubt that you could give them some story.
Exactly.
See, with me, bro, I can't even fucking talk.
Yeah.
So if I was to get high today, Alicia would know in minutes.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're not answering your phone, and then I pick it up, and
you know, yeah, like, you're just stuck, and you know, like, and like you said, the garage, you know, like it became to the point that every time I was in the garage, my kids would already just know what was going on.
Yeah, leave that alone.
You know, yeah. And then Karina would come home or whatever. And so, you know, scary. Like, I know, I hate to use the word envy, but I envy that your kids weren't subjected.
Believe it or not, bro,
I know that you didn't have the time with them and stuff.
Bro, I have no. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
I was such a fuck up.
Yeah.
That they couldn't be a part of those memories. Yeah. They just had this distance.
My 2 kids, they lived it.
Right.
And I mean, my Karina's parents, and you know, they tried to shelter them as much as they could from it, but it always overspilled.
Of course.
And you know, they spent a lot of time at their grandparents during those years. Karina would take them away for the weekend.
Yeah.
And, you know, take them away and go stay at her friend's house out in Amherstburg. And
they're probably wondering why.
I would look at that like
vacation.
Fuck them. No, not even. Like, at first it was like fuck them, you know, or fuck her, fuck them, and they don't love me, and they're just running away from me. And
self-pity.
Yeah, exactly, 100% self-pity, right? But then I'm like, well, fuck, whatever. I'm gonna go haywire, right?
Yeah.
You know, and
isn't that scary?
It is scary.
Somebody stands up.
I'll show them, right?
No, yeah.
You know?
Meanwhile,
I'll show them.
It's only you that's dying.
Like, I wasn't even planning on getting high this weekend. That's what I would tell myself, right?
Yeah. But now I am.
But now I am. Yeah.
Exactly. Any excuse.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, it's a fucking sad day when we have to look at there's somebody saying, like, I can't handle this anymore, and instead of correcting the behavior and proving it to them through our own actions.
Yeah.
Like, no, well, you're gonna leave? Well, fuck you then. Yeah. I'm just gonna do what I was gonna do anyways. Like, without saying that. It's right. like I wasn't gonna fucking get high today, but yeah, you probably fucking were.
Right? Yeah.
Like, somehow, you know, it could have been a broken plate that fucking caused it.
So, like, finally I reached my limits, you know, that old saying, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
And I knew what I was putting, you know, what really did me in was, I don't know, it was just this one time that, because in that year and a half, you know, I got back to work and I was doing some things, like, you know, I didn't come around here because I told myself, I could smoke weed or whatever, and so I stayed away because, like, but the weed turned into, I could have a couple beers here and there, but then the beer turned into the, you know, and it just progressed as the year and a half went on, and it got real bad, the one summer, like, real bad, and like I said, I lost like 40 pounds in a summer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wasn't eating. I
probably didn't even look like you.
I was, my face was sunken, and I thought I looked good because I had a six-pack, and I haven't had a six-pack since I was like, 10 years old.
Check this out,
yeah, you know, but I really looked like shit, you know, I was a skeleton, right? And finally I just waved the white flag, man, and I came back, and I graduated, I think, last time I graduated here was January 2024. But I still wasn't. I haven't been sober that whole time since January 2024. Right?
I remember when you first came back. I forget what I said to you, but it was something along the lines. You actually going to be fucking serious this time?
Yeah.
I remember having a one-on-one with you.
I remember that one-on-one.
You can fucking talk, good talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. And I was like, man, you got all the words.
Yeah.
Right?
But what are you gonna do? I remember. I do remember that.
Yeah.
You stopped me right outside of the
because I liked you when I first came here.
Yeah.
And then you disappeared.
Yeah.
And I remember you were part of my separation anxiety, like realizing that people come and they leave.
Yeah.
And then it's like I hear your name, he hasn't been around, then nothing. And then, you come back on program, and I remember you feeding the same shit.
Yeah. And then that's what, like Matt, and it was guys like you, and it was guys like, Jeff the Actus, and it was, Paul really laid into me, man. And it was, realizing that, like I needed to get down to the nitty gritty. And
we're all your fucking friends.
And plus, I needed to fucking surrender, bro.
Yeah.
I needed to start surrendering. Dude, I'll tell you, my first program, I never fucking surrendered. I was making a commitment,
2 minutes
before, like, oh, that sounds good. Or when the circle's going around, and I'm like, I'm just gonna elaborate what this guy's saying or whatever,
Yeah.
But
heaven forbid you ever go first.
Right. You know what I mean? So by the end of the second program, I was fucking leading that group. Right. I was a leader. I was a job CO here.
Bro, that's why we became closer friends.
Yeah, it was, and
it's weird how people are just waiting.
I stopped doing recovery, and I started living recovery.
Yeah.
And
say that again. I stopped doing. I started delivering
recovery, and I started living recovery.
Living recovery.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I started living it every day.
That's right.
Yeah. And I graduated in January 2024, but I still had one little mishap, right? And for about a month and a half, and I guess it would be July 2024. I went out. First of all, I went to a reunion, a grade school reunion, and I had a couple of drinks, and that night I smoked crack, and then that opened the door.
At the reunion?
Not at the reunion. I had drinks there, but I smoked crack later that night, and that opened the door again. Like I felt like I threw my sobriety away, and and then it was like.
Is this after you graduated the last time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
kicking the ass.
Oh yeah, for sure, kicking the ass. But then so it's now I opened that door back up, and then it was a couple weeks later I did it again, just bought a 40 or whatever, and then a week later it was a half, and then then it got for about a good 3-4 weeks I went hard.
Yeah.
And that's when my wife finally said you can't be here no more. And, my daughter, I remember the one night my daughter walked in, and I could see the heartbreak in her eyes.
Ah, fuck.
And she knew I was high. She could tell.
Yeah.
And it was like, fuck, again, like I had my apprenticeship going again, and all these things were starting to come back, and I fucking threw it away, and I broke her heart again, and
that happened to me with my welding apprenticeship and my kids, man.
I often think of that day, and the look on her face, and the sadness in her eyes, and the heartbreak in her eyes.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, this might sound a little bit screwed up, but I use that as motivation, man. Yeah. That I never want to see that pain in her eyes, and I never want to see that pain in her face again.
That's it. See, when I relapsed a couple years ago, I fucking called every person in my family while I was high.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucked up. It was so fucked up that I was so paranoid. Like, and then I came to Brentwood with no shirt, no shoes. They sent me to the mission. Right. I work at the fucking mission. So they fired me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, fucking going to the mission for? What are you gonna go fucking show up at Ford's if you work at Ford's? Like, fucking.
Right.
Like, buddy, it was just fucking stupid. Right? But I remember having the disappointment in each of the phone calls. And to tell you the truth, the only reason why I called them was because I was hearing voices in my head that they were being tortured again. So I was only calling, hoping that they would pick up.
Yeah.
And then to verify that I was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, you're all right? Yeah, but what's wrong with you? Then I'm like, oh, they can tell.
Yeah.
I'm high. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, and then next person, next person, next person. You know what I mean? So it's like I wasn't even initially calling because I wanted to get honest. I was calling because I thought that they were fucking being hurt by dangerous people that I used to know.
Yeah.
So my psychosis led me into ratting myself out, which led me into getting honest at work, getting honest at Brentwood, and with my entire family, which was the best thing that could have happened for me. Right? Because that's like a pivotal point in my recovery where I realized that the psychosis and all of the voices that left off 3 years prior, they're still waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not like there's an ounce of fun.
And they're not going away.
They're not fucking going away.
Nope.
So if I get high 10 years from now, guess what's waiting for me?
It's coming. Yeah.
The same fucking thing that I left off
exactly. And that's what I mean. It was like that last real bad relapse. I was up for about, 12 days in a row.
Yeah. Fuck.
And anything after, 3-4 days,
you're clinically insane.
You're just gone, right?
Yeah.
And I thought things were happening. Like Matt, I was like Karina's parents and the family. They had to get a wellness check, and they had to bring they had to go and bring me to the hospital. I was up for like 7 or 8 days.
Yeah.
They put me out. You know what I mean? And I got right back out and went again.
Right back at it. Yeah.
Went again, and finally, I made a call. I had like $20 or something in my pocket, and I was like, "What's this even gonna do? What's this 20 even gonna do?
Right.
Like, what am I gonna do?" Like, and I was thinking about stealing the TV off my wall. I was thinking about just doing some crazy things, whatever I had to do to get money.
And that internal battle's scary.
Yeah, man.
Because part of you is going like, is this really what the fuck we're
I
doing?
think I even might have made a call to try to get a 20. Who's going to sell it?
Right.
I probably could have found it, but the guys that I was dealing, he wasn't going to deliver a 20 to my house or whatever. And so I don't know, man. I called a good buddy of mine, Jeff Diactis, and Martin, another alumni here, and they were with him. They were at my door within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they brought me to Chuck's Roadhouse and got me some food and
took care of you.
Took care of me, and brought me to eat, and then I called Detox. And I came back. I came back here, and I talked to Tom Butler. At the time, he was the director at that time.
Yeah.
And he's like, Jared,
You know what's weird is that we were probably very similar time in relapses.
Yes. Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, because I remember I had to do 30 meetings in 30 days when Tom was the...
And that's what he told me to do. He's like, Jeremy, he's like, honestly, he's like...
What else are you going to learn?
You've been on program twice in the last 3 years. Like, what do you want me to teach you? Like, I can't teach you anything. You know the program. You have to do the program.
Yeah, you have to put in the work.
You've been a good alumni in between, here and there.
Yeah.
When you're here, you're awesome. Yeah. Everybody loves you.
That's the fucked up part.
Right?
It's like, man, we are lovable people. Yeah. We can have a good life.
He's like, he told me, he's like, you just got to do the program. And then I explained what was going on with my living situation. And because I came back here and I wanted to go back on program. Like, I thought I needed that, right?
Right.
He's like, no, man, I don't think that's good for you right now. He's like, but I will tell you something. You do need to get out of that house.
Right.
And you got to give that family peace.
Yeah.
Because they don't have peace with you there.
They deserve it.
They deserve it. Exactly.
Yeah, after fucking 15 years of your shit.
And to be honest, Karina took the girls and they were at Karina's parents.
Which sucks. That's their home.
Until I left. Exactly.
Right. You're taking your daughters. And so let's set all battles aside, like personal indifferences with a spouse.
Yeah.
You have 2 kids that you promised that house to. Do you know what I mean? They got their bedrooms, they got their their friends, that whatever their life is.
That's their life.
That's been their home.
It's their home.
So take the ex-wife out of the equation.
Yeah.
Well, I even battled for the house. Yeah. Like there's no fucking point really.
Yeah. No.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's
give them some peace.
Home and
I like how you said that. Give them some peace.
Yeah, and that was last July. That was like what? 14, 15 months ago, right?
Right.
And
so are you guys legally separated?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not legally, like through the. Yeah, I guess we are legally separated,
okay.
Right? But
is it still a tough pill to swallow?
It is.
Yeah. I can see it on your face.
I feel like a lot has happened. I feel like had I give this recovery. Had I given my 100% years and years ago, maybe things could be different.
Right.
I feel like now too much has happened.
Right.
I mean, we still love each other, but we're not in love.
Right, I get it.
You know,
Yeah.
like she's told me, she'll always care for me. I'll always care for her. You know?
Right, you guys have kids together.
Yeah, and also, you know, like right now, even our relationship, it's the best it's been.
Isn't that weird?
In years, bro.
Right.
And I'm talking even like, you know.
So
like,
good communication for the kids.
Oh, great communication. You know, we do whatever we have to do for them now.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we plan this 16th birthday party. We go to their sporting events together.
Yeah.
You know, she's very supportive of my recovery. She does, you know, like I just celebrated my 1 year. Right? September 7th.
Yeah.
2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
She took me out for dinner with her parents and the kids. You know,
Yeah.
went to East Side Mario's as a family.
So let's talk about things that you've gotten back since, like, taking this more serious. You know, let's talk about employment. You're working.
Yep.
You have a car.
Yep.
Kids are in your life.
Yep.
You know, you're obviously setting up shop, doing birthdays and sporting events, and you're friends with your ex-wife or wife.
Yes.
Right. So, and these are people that your immediate damage has caused. You know, but let's just say it this way: how long did you, like, the longest period of time that you held a job before you came into recovery? Like you said, you had multiple jobs.
So, like, before, like, like I said, I always worked hard and I went to work. I had a job for I had a good job at Lanex Manufacturing, and where I started my apprenticeship. I worked there for about 9 years.
Okay. So you had moments.
And then COVID hit.
Right.
COVID hit. And before that, my other job, I worked at Winter Husky Truck Stop. I was the manager there. That was for about 7 years.
Okay, so you
I held employment, but during COVID, and when COVID hit, that's where when I got laid off.
Yeah.
My apprenticeship, they told me that they weren't going to
endorse it anymore.
Exactly, because they couldn't afford. They basically they lost a lot of contracts and they couldn't afford to pay me.
The man hours, yeah.
So they said I could have my old position back, and I, you know, me being the stubborn alcoholic that I am, yeah, fuck you. I'll go elsewhere, try my own. And then during COVID and after COVID, I went through about 4 or 5 jobs in 3 or 4 years, right?
Trying to shake it.
And most of that time I was unemployed as well.
Right.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
And also during that time I went through 3 cars.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I crashed one. I got one impounded by the cops because I didn't have it
insured properly.
Insured, and no insurance, no license plate. You know what I mean?
That.
Anyways, ended up somehow, by the grace of God, getting off on that during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you how I did that.
Yeah.
But I did. The other car blew the engine on it. You know what I mean? Because I.
So you really didn't have any respect for anything.
I didn't. My life I was just running amok. You know what I mean? I was just running wild, man.
So now that you're in recovery, you've gotten these things back.
I got it all back.
Yeah.
And
where are you living right now?
I live at Dry House.
No fucking kidding. Right?
My original direction.
Original direction.
Yeah.
So had he followed, like you were saying, might have had a better shot keeping the family. But like everything happens for a reason.
Everything does.
These had to probably be lessons for you to take this serious.
I had to lose it to appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And I pay the mortgage at that house, and I pay rent at the Dry House.
Yeah.
You know, but the way I look at that, Matt, I'm paying for my kids to have a safe place to live.
100%.
You know, and I don't.
Bro, and how do you lay your head at night knowing you did the right thing?
Exactly.
Listen, my daughter messages me a few days ago. Are you still sending me the money that you said you were going to send me this month?
Yeah.
And I'm going, I already fucking did. Which I sent her money for her birthday and bought her a dog just before I came back in September, right? So I don't have money right now. But I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, did I fucking tell her? I'm like, there's no fucking way I told you that. Because I didn't. I just said I would send money every month.
Right.
So I know I don't have to give you money until October. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this little fucking kid's trying to swindle me. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? But at the end of the day, I'm like, you know what, man? Like, what's going to really... $50. Like, what the fuck's the big deal?
Exactly.
What is the fucking big deal?
But we still want to hold on to...
Right, bro, but my initial thought is, like, you're trying to fuck with me, aren't you?
Even for my daughter's birthday, it was like $180 for pizza. You know,
Right.
and I was like, oh, fuck, you know, but I'm like, you know what?
What would you have spent the money on?
And this is for her 16th birthday. And you know what?
It's a one-time thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, like, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. As
That's
long
it.
as she's happy and as long as
Yeah.
they're happy over there. And you know, I stole their peace for so long that I just want them to have that.
That's right.
And you know, if it takes $1 million to do that, if I had it, I'd give it to them.
That's right. And here's the thing, bro. Like, you get a better sleep at night. You don't have to worry about what, like, self-serving fucking initiative or motivation you had for that
Yeah.
money in the first place.
Exactly.
It's like, man, like, if I give whatever away, we receive these gratifying feelings.
And yeah, the giving is in, or the receiving is in the
in the
giving.
giving.
You
That's
know?
it.
They've been telling me that for years, but
And they want to believe it.
I'm starting to see that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see it now.
That's
you know?
right.
And the way I look at it, you know, I have a job. I'll just make more money next week. You know?
That's right.
And I'm blessed to be able to go to work. I'm blessed, you know,
Yeah.
because
It's all a gift
it
from
is a
God,
gift.
bro.
It really is. And
Right.
that's another thing. This last year and a half, I've grown and spiritually, and I created a connection with God.
That's it. Yeah.
And I can honestly say every morning I get up and I surrender and I ask Him for help.
That's it.
Every single morning.
See, like, it's not much to bend the knee, eh?
No.
Like,
No.
like, what's the problem with giving 10 seconds on your fucking knees?
That's all it takes.
To say, I'm an alcoholic, I need help.
Yep.
Please, this is my commitment for today.
Yep. Yeah,
Simple as that.
You know, I'm actively involved in Brentwood today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm on the social committee. The program enhancement committee.
Yeah.
You know, the baseball.
Yeah.
We're in the Serenity League together. You know, all these good things. You know, and plus,
It's my daughter's name.
yeah, exactly. Serenity is. You're right. Yeah, and but everything I am doing in life is positive now.
Yeah.
You know, there's no negative. There's no, you know, even coming here, you know, just to shoot a game of pool with a new guy or
Yeah.
or you know, having a coffee and introducing yourself and just being there. And you know what, like I really love the Saturday night meetings here with when the new guys get up and
Yeah.
because dude, that humbles me, man.
It was
me back,
cool.
you know.
A couple weeks ago, I was the Saturday night speaker.
Okay.
So I got to call the people up. Like, Mike let me
Yeah,
run the meeting,
yeah,
right?
nice.
So it was like pretty cool to, like, pick a couple that I knew, but, like, then really just dive into, like, you know, who's in
Exactly.
week 2, who's in week 3, who's in week 4. I was going, you know,
Yeah.
and just pulling people up, right?
Yeah, and it's
See the growth, and the difference.
exactly. And I was just about to get into that. Like when I'm here, and I always I try to go to every graduation, you know.
Yeah.
Because I love remembering when this guy came in on that Saturday night walk.
Yeah.
3 months later, and seeing where he is now, and you know, seeing that glow on him.
Right.
And you can see it as the time goes on, man.
Bro, I wish they would let me do it with people that are coming back in, but I had an idea for the show for rate at 1 to 10. Get a guy week 1
Yeah.
and a guy week 10 before he graduates on his 12th
Okay,
week.
yeah.
So rate it 1 to 10, you know, is what I was going to call the episode, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then say a guy like you who's done program
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
hypothetically, right? Are you willing to be on camera? But they don't, because of liability, right?
Right.
When you're on program, you can't have that kind of,
Yeah,
right?
I understand.
But man, would that be a beautiful
That would
thing.
be cool because like.
You get to see for 5
We were
minutes.
just getting a coffee in the lounge there, and you're like, the guy that say, "Oh, I don't know if I'm sure about this place." Well, you know what? You will be sure of it. You know?
Someday.
You stick around
Yeah.
here long enough.
Not only that, why don't you do what we did?
Yeah.
Go back out there, fucking smash your head against the wall for a while.
Yeah.
Realize that the
It's,
walls always win.
No, I mean,
It's hard.
Once we've been through Brentwood and actually, you know, retained some things. And,
Well, Father Paul said it's 3 days of seeds planted.
Yeah.
You know, once you hear these people talk like this for 3 days,
Yeah,
like, it's hard to realize that there's no love
I
in the
never
world.
drank or drugged since I
Yeah.
left here and had peace with it. You know?
Well, remember you
I
were
don't-
saying, like, you know, the wife and kids would go to Amherstburg or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, fuck them, they don't love me, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You get that whole self-pity. Try doing that after listening to us talk for 3 days.
Right.
But you can't.
No, exactly.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like, no, there are people that care about me. I know where they're at. This place, okay, before I jump into what I think, what maybe was one of the main topics that maybe changed your way of thinking or helped you along that lines in recovery? And also on that topic, what was a pivotal point in your recovery maybe that you realized that you had to be like 100% all in?
Love is a tough one for me, man.
Okay.
Love was a tough topic.
Because like you said, Paul said to you.
Well, bro, like I had to reevaluate the way I've been treating everybody in my life, my entire life.
Yeah, it's either look in the mirror or run.
Yeah. And I had to realize, like, man, I didn't love anybody, because at the end of the day, I didn't love myself. And
what did you love most?
Well, I loved self, and I loved whatever was good for me.
Right.
Or not what was good for me, but whatever felt good. Or
instant
whatever.
gratification.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Love was a tough week, man. Self-will. I realized that how selfish I was. You know, I'm a father. I have 2 children. I have a wife. I have responsibility. All these things, but I put myself over them all the time. I neglected them. I neglected their feelings.
That's right.
And I had to look at that. Man, there's so many. All the topics are good. Even expectations, right here, like this week that we're talking about. I mean, I know the week just started. It's Monday, but it's going to be a good week. Like the expectations I used to create on everything in life. Yeah. And if it didn't go good, it's like, dude, it's like my world is crashing down. Fuck this. I don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It didn't pan out the way so throw it all away. You know, or you know, there's. I mean. Every topic's good around
I'm
here.
glad you said that.
You know, every topic is good around here, and they all intertwine, and they're. I mean, there's always something to think about here.
That's right,
There's always something, and there's always ways to improve, and you know,
you're doing what you can do until you realize you can do more.
And it seems like every time I'm. Like not all the time, but sometimes I'll be faltering in a certain area, and this topic will come up. And it's just like, this is what I needed. Okay, let's go dig in. You know, this is what I needed to do, and then it's back in group, and it's and you know we're talking about what I need to hear.
Somehow or another, it's a weird. I'd hate to say coincidence, but it happens for a reason.
Well, I mean, it's God, right?
That's it.
And you know, I don't know who chooses the topics around here.
Bro, in and through other people we shall find our salvation. Yeah. It's isolation that's the enemy.
You know.
Right? And then, okay, so on that, how was I going to word this again? What is the best thing that you find about this place today? Like, say, even, what did you realize? Like, you could have realized it on program. Like, when did you, your favorite thing about Brentwood?
Connection, man.
Okay.
Connection, brother.
Yeah.
This is what it is, man.
So the open door policy.
Dude, it's awesome. Like, just being able to come here, and it's, like, I don't want to call it a clubhouse or anything. Like, because it's not. That's kind of disrespectful. But, dude, like, it is in a way, right? Like, we get.
Have you been to any other treatment centers?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this is another thing. I was just talking to John on the last episode. He hasn't done anything else either. Okay, so anywhere else you graduate, you don't get to go back. They're government-run facilities,
exactly,
right? Or they're privatized in some sort of way. So, if you want to go back as a guest speaker, you have to call. You have to like make an appointment. You get to go for one day for a couple hours, right? So, like the aftercare of this place.
Oh man, like if
you know what I'm saying?
I can come here at 10:30 at night. I can come here at 2 a.m.
That's right.
I can come here at 7 for one-on-ones. I can, you know, I can come here for 10 minutes. Yeah. Just to, you know, who knows, bum a smoke off a guy or give him something, or just to, you know, but just to show face and honestly, like when I come here, I get about 10, 15, 20 people saying, "Hey man, how you doing? What's up?"
Make you feel,
and, dude, it fills my cup. Even if I'm having a bad day, just that little interaction.
People love me.
Yes. You know, and it's people love me, man, and it's connection, and it's like, I'll tell you, like, Matt, you've been on the social committee, man.
That's right.
Like, it's fun doing stuff.
100%.
You know, doing the playing of the dances, and you know,
and not to mention too, like what you get out of like organizing things like that.
Yeah.
Because you know what everybody, like, say you're about to get volunteers. Everyone's like, for fuck's sakes, at the beginning of it. But as soon as they do it, they're like, oh, you see the light on their face.
And I was one of those people.
Bro, so was I.
Right?
For fuck's sakes.
For the first year and a half I was around here or whatever, I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do that, or I don't want
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, I'm like, wait a minute, all these guys are having fun over here, and I'm still. Why don't I?
Why am I a miserable?
Yeah.
Fuck?
Why am I not involved in this? That actually does look fun.
So it's
because
weird
fear
that the
right?
remedy for our sobriety and our survival today is involvement, bro.
Yeah, it is.
The will to do something for something else. Like, can I just be a part of?
Yeah.
Which is another topic here, being a part of.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like not only is it fucking exhilarating, it's also exhausting in the most positive, most positive way possible.
Yeah.
Like, dude, when I was on program, it was so exhausting and I didn't lift a finger.
Yeah.
Like I had like a fucking 20-minute chore to do.
Yeah.
A couple times a day. Okay, so there's no physical fucking exhaustion, but yet I'm going to bed at 11 o'clock every night like a responsible human being, and I'm dead tired.
Yeah.
Right, I can feel like I worked a 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
Right, so if I'm able to go through my feelings and get to a place of zen and a place of peace, like you said, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, I can have a balanced lifestyle outside of this place. So
That's another good topic, balance.
Balance, right?
Balance.
So the key to my sobriety is staying involved with other people in recovery.
Yeah.
Wow, and they give you that the day you fucking graduate.
Right.
So not only did you just graduate, you can come to the 6 o'clock meeting tonight. Are you going to be here, buddy?
Yeah.
Are ya?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it doesn't matter who the message is to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, in all honesty, this saved my life. Like, we were just talking about that guy at the fucking coffee island. Talking about, I'm not sure if I'm not dead set on this place yet anyways. But you're still in the chair.
Yeah.
So there's still hope for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. If you had anything that you would give your recovery up for, what would it be?
I honestly, I don't have an answer for that right now.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
It is, because you know what? This is, I'm just living every day now.
Right.
Like, I just, it becomes habit, routine. After doing it for so long, it becomes, this is my life.
Right.
Brentwood's a big part of my life.
That's why I'm pissed that I'm not on your baseball team. I told John in the last episode too, I said, buddy, this is my fucking home. Had I known there was a Brentwood baseball team, I would have been on it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But hey, man, next year, I'm sure we're going to have a couple teams and we're going to figure all that out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for sure.
Choked.
Especially because Alicia's on the team.
I know. My girlfriend plays for the team. I'm like, fucking yeah, buddy. I haul her from 2 fields over. Good game, guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, you guys are my life. And I had mentioned balance, man. There's work, there's family, there's recovery. Recovery, obviously, it has come first.
How obvious is it though? Like, let's be real. It is not obvious to us at all whatsoever. Not at the beginning. That's what I'm saying. So when we come in here, like, what do you mean my recovery comes before my kids? We buck that like a fucking bronco.
And that's and yeah, we fight it.
Yeah. Like, I gotta work to feed my kids. I gotta do this. No, man. All I gotta do is show up for meetings, and then slowly but surely other things in my life will fucking pan out.
Exactly.
But we don't want that to be the way it is, because we want what we want right away instead of allowing life to give us what we need. Wants and needs, a whole nother topic. Yeah, balance. So you're saying, sorry?
Balance, so, recovery comes first, but after a while, the first, when you're on program, the first 30 days or whatever after the relapse or whatever, it's drilled into us, it's recovery, meetings. But slowly, everything starts to balance out, once a week I'll go over to the house and have dinner with the kids, or and then on the weekends I'll go to their soccer or their volleyball or whatever through the winter.
So you hit a meeting at a different time.
And then also I have work, so there's that steady constant is work, right? Because it's important, right? I mean, but if I'm working during the day, I'm meeting at night.
Well, like you said, getting your cup filled up. It's like, man, if you're working Monday through Friday.
Yep.
And it takes away your meetings from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can't go to any meetings.
Well, then...
But you can still pop in for a one-on-one.
Pop in for a one-on-one. Even just to come here and play pool with a guy.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Or play a game of cards.
Or pick up the phone. Guess who's working the duty desk?
Yes.
Another alumni.
Yes, exactly.
No kidding. So you can have a fucking 10-minute one-on-one with a guy over the phone.
Whoever you're calling, if you call here and you're talking to the guy at the duty desk or whatever, they're happy as hell to hear from you if they haven't seen you in a long time.
That's right.
We just had a couple guys come back on program here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I gave him a big hug. I said, man, I'm glad you're back.
That's right.
And because
Probably talking about a guy's name starts with a K.
Every time I've come back, I've always, well, not every time, I should say, but the first couple times, it's that guilt and that shame, and
that's right. Scared
of who I'm gonna know, or if this guy's still around or that guy's still around. But every time it's just been love, bro, and it's been hugs, and it's been welcoming, and that's how you know that you're home,
right?
You know, and that
it does become a second home,
that you belong.
Yeah, you know? I say this all the time. Paul was a second father.
Yeah,
Brentwood is my second home, and this is a second family.
You know, Paul, he's your group leader, he's my group leader, you know. Well,
he's on next week.
Obviously, yeah, he's on next week. So obviously, yeah, I know you're pumped for that.
I am.
Obviously, he's retired now, but I have so much respect for Paul. Like, he taught me so much, man. But the thing is, he has a way of letting us kind of, you know, figure it out ourselves too.
That's right. Yeah.
Like he'll call you out on your shit.
Right, but he can't make you do anything.
No.
Yeah.
But he had a way, and his story, Matt. Every time he got up on that mic, man, it was dead on to what I was going through, or what, like, you know, he had to stay in a dry house for a year, and
when he had a home,
and he had to go back, and he had to, you know, maybe start going on dates or planning things with his wife, or you know, and you know, it all ended up working out for him, you know, and
so why wouldn't we believe in it?
Well, that's what I mean, right? And some of the things that he told me about how he treated his kids, and how they resented him, and it just was like fucking bang on.
Yeah, different details, same circumstances.
Exactly. And every time he got up on the mic, it pierced right through my soul, man.
You know what? The hardest part for me was on program was realizing that I started to develop respect for the guy, and then feeling like I was letting him down. But not to mention putting that into perspective of I've already been letting my own father down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So every time I felt like I did something and made a mistake, and I had to like be honest with him, I was like, "Fuck! Imagine I had to do this my entire life with my dad."
Well, dude, that was the first time when I came back on program, and I had to face it, and they were gonna stick me in Keith's group, and I said, "No, I need to be in Paul's group," you know. And I asked Joe, I said, "Can you please put me in Paul's group?" And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I was just gonna put you in Keith to kind of balance things out, but yeah, I mean, if that's where you're comfortable, that's fine." And me doing my will again, right? Or whatever.
And listen, I need the guy to fucking crack the whip.
Yeah,
so
but I knew that I needed him. I knew that I needed him again, right?
That's right.
I'm glad that Joe agreed, and
it all happened the way it
all happened, you know. And
so we're almost nearing the end here. So I just wanted to hit you with the surprise question. If you had something that you would say to the suffering addict, any message that you would send to people still out there banging their head, or anybody that maybe you hope to inspire, or anything, you know, what would you tell them if you could look at the camera and just
don't give up, and just you know, if you fall and stumble, just get back up and keep going and dust yourself off, and you know, just find your peace and find your freedom, and love yourself and forgive yourself, right? Because that's what it took for me. It took me to forgive myself, and to get over what I did, and to start to heal.
I had another question for you, because I'm just imagining still being in my disease as you're saying that. Like, how the fuck do I love myself? How the fuck do I forgive myself? What do you really mean by that? You know, like that first step into recovery. Like, it's hard to have that mindset.
I think everybody is different of what they go through and stuff like that. But for how I did it, it was just through the other alcoholic, and it was just giving back, and it was just, and patience, man. Yeah. Because it's not going to happen overnight.
Everything happens in its own time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's patience, and recovery is a big thing about.
So I hang on to that sliver of hope.
Well, yeah. I mean, and if I could do it, you know, anybody else can do it too, right? Like, seriously, right? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that I got anything right now, but
no, bro. Listen, I got
today. I know that.
I was doing the math on things at one point in time, and like, I'm almost 200 pounds, so I don't, like, at the time that I did the math, I was about 165 pounds, and I know that I smoke my body weight in crack.
Yeah.
And that's close to 80 kilos of cocaine. or 75 kilos of cocaine.
Yeah.
And that's, anybody can be, oh, that guy's so full of shit. It's like, no, buddy. Do the average. If you're smoking crack for 20 years and you smoke roughly a quarter a day, because some days it was a couple ounces on the weekend, and then I'd shut it down for a few days. And then it'd be, like average a quarter a day, and you do the math of 365 days in a year, and then you do the math on 20 fucking years. Right? So, like, it's there. Right? It's fucked up to think about it. Like, let's say I'm even projecting that wrong on a percentage of 25%. That's still 120 pounds of crack. Like, that's fucking insane.
Well, yeah, it's just like, I used to think if I'm drinking 25 beers a weekend, times 50.
Bro. Right.
You're at like, 2,000 over the...
Bro, do the math on the money and the value of it. It's like,
for sure.
Dude, like as the amount of money I spent on fucking booze, and then it's like, okay, project the fucking fines and the legal trouble and the fucking, the gas money and the fucking time away. Like, holy fuck.
But
it's absolute insanity.
Push all the money aside, and it's how much would have been avoided, and how many problems in life, and
how many feelings wouldn't have been hurt.
I honestly, I'm from Windsor, and I used to drive by this place, and my uncle's alumni here, right? He came in like '97.
Okay.
And he actually, back about 6 years ago, he told me about, that he. That was not knowledge to me before that, right? That he came through here and he was an alumni and stuff. And he said, you should really think about Brentwood, man. He's like, it would help you. Life, And I used to drive by this place and think, what a bunch of, it's a cult. And it's serious, and that's what but it's not, it's
just a bunch of people loving each other.
Right? but
something must be wrong with this picture.
All the haters and all the everybody, and I was one of them. I thought the same thing. I used to drive this place what's going on? I remember driving past this place and never being able to see what's actually going on. Yeah. Because it's kind of back far from the road, and it's kind of hidden off, and it's in it's in between train
It's got
tracks.
its enough eerie, mysterious.
It's like a little triangle in this part of town that you don't ever want to come because you don't want to get blocked by trains. So it's but I remember driving by here and I'd be like, what's going on over there? And
not to mention it's got its own mysterious eeriness to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and you feel it with I don't know about you, but second, third week here, you start to really things start to happen around here. It's magic, right?
Bro. I've had so many pivotal moments. I'm gonna tell you one was I didn't really fucking give a shit about commitments. Okay, like you said, going into group, fucking hear one, say one, whatever, right? I started to take it serious and think about it in the morning when I woke up. But I definitely didn't get on my knees for anybody. And then I'm with Ryan Sylvester, and I'm walking around the pavilion around week 4-ish, 5, and he's telling me how he's at the fucking carnival at the fair with his kids, and they're getting old enough and they're going on rides. And they're doing it without him. They got their friends now, right? They're getting big enough. He's like, what? I'm getting all fucking grouchy about it. He's like, I'm somewhat indifferent. Why don't they want me to come with them? And all.
Right. Yeah.
He said, he's like, so I realized that I'm doing this, and I had to recommit. And make that my commitment was to get out of that self-pity, because at least they want me there and have some appreciation and stuff like that, and be grateful that they even still want me to go with them, right? Of course they're gonna want to be with their friends. They're growing up, exactly. And there I was making it about me, so I had to recommit. What do you mean recommit? I'm like, so you fucking got on your knees at the fair? That's what I said to him. Yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck off. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, you got on your knees in the middle of a fucking crowd? He's like, well, I found a spot and I made my commitment. And he's like, I don't care who's watching me. He said, Matt, I'll be completely honest with you. If you got on your knees right now, he's like, no one's going to turn their head. They don't give a shit. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, okay. So conversation went on, one-on-one's over. Yeah. I waited till he's gone. I fucking tried it. Pavilion, 50, 60, 70 people out. Nobody fucking turned, bro. No. Nobody laughed. No. Nobody judged me. No. I'm like, huh. Yeah. He wasn't lying. Then I go to bed. That night, a guy asks me, what was it? Robbie Ducharme used to set his alarm. He did breakfast in the morning at 5:30. He had to get up. I didn't get up until the very last fucking 5 minutes left in breakfast. Get there, eat to group, right? Yeah. So he would come back in the room and wake me up every morning for the first 4 weeks. And for some reason, bro, I must have knocked a pillow off my bed, and it was on the floor beside my bed. And I wake up, it's 5:36 in the morning, so like he must have just gotten up, right? I didn't know, right? I look at the alarm clock across the room, it's digital. I see fucking red numbers, 5:36. I go, huh. I look down at the ground, I'm like, fucking pillow. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Okay, I'll make a commitment. You know, I'm gonna get on my knees today. You fucking, all the signs are there, buddy. Like, I never wake up in the morning, like I'm up, fucking can't go back to bed. But the feeling I had when I woke up, like I was just floating for about a minute. Like, not really realizing why I'm awake. I wasn't grumpy that I was awake. I wasn't fucking anything. Like, there was no feelings. Yep. Usually I wake up, I start thinking about everything. Right? Like, it's just like fucking like, holy fuck, here we go again. Right? Right? Like, I got all these fucking negative feelings and thoughts. Like, I fucking wish I had 10 more minutes of sleep or blah, 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 blah. Like, the thoughts start.
Yes.
You know, then maybe it's the bills. Maybe it's the place that I'm at. Maybe it's the fucking no girlfriend thing. Maybe it's the thing and the thing and the thing and the thing and the thing.
Within the first, 25 seconds, all these thoughts have come through your head.
Right, but at this time when I woke up, nothing was there.
No.
It felt like I was floating inside, bro.
Yeah.
Like my whole entire existence was free. Yeah. And I look at the clock, 5:36. I see the pillow, and then the first thought comes in, make a fucking commitment.
That's it.
And I'm like, I hear you loud and clear, right, to God, right? I get it. Signs are there. I get on my knees, and I even kind of mock my way through it, right? I got a fucking commitment today is to help anybody that comes through my path in recovery. I remember the very first time I ever made a commitment, that's what I said. I'm going to help whoever comes into my life, like, blah, blah, blah. Yep. I'm an alcoholic and I need help. Thank you. Fucking move on with my day. So I get off my knees. I can't go back to bed, so I go downstairs, and Elijah Bell comes up to me and he says to me, hey man, we're short a guy on breakfast. I know you're a good worker. Will you help us with breakfast? What do I say to him? Fuck no. What was my commitment?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not even realizing this.
Exactly.
10 minutes later, I'm like, fuck no, I'm not going to fucking get up this early. I'm like, but I tell him the whole story about how I felt so light and all these fucking weird feelings in the morning, right? So I make him listen to me for 10 minutes. I'm like, I'm not even going to fucking describe to you what the fuck happened to me. I just made my first commitment, and it's to deny you the exact thing I said that I would do. Right? Like, not actually saying that to him, but that's what I was doing. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not getting up this early. And then I pause for a second, realizing something that I'm doing wrong, right? And I'm like, you know what? If this happens to me again tomorrow morning, you got yourself a fucking deal. Right?
But you know what, Matt?
Bro, I'm not even done there. I go back to bed that night. I say, thank you for letting me be alive. Right. I go to sleep. I wake up at 5:36 in the morning.
Oh, same thing.
Bro!
Yeah.
He's telling me, like, buddy, you're now doing fucking breakfast.
This is it.
So I'm like, holy fuck, this is fucked up, right?
It's like Twilight Zone.
Buddy, I'm like, and this time I put the pillow on the ground. So like,
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, if this happens, bud, and that's what they say, right? So I'm like, wow, I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. This isn't a coincidence. It's 5:36 on the fucking alarm clock, bro. Right? That was one of those,
chance, man.
Bro, right? That's when I was like, wow, I'm like, this is fucked up. So like, and that's not for anybody else, it's for me, right? So I fucking wait, and I'm like, this is fucked up. So that night, I'm like, yeah, I'm on breakfast now, but I bet you can't do it again.
Yeah.
That's what I said to God.
Oh.
I bet you can't fucking do it again, buddy. Right? And I lay down. And that's just the devil inside. I'm speaking what I'm thinking now. Right? But who's thinking for me? Like I said, when we're too young, the positive and negative thoughts, right? Yeah. Something's inside of me that's evil. Something's inside of me that's good, but there's no good voice. I just hear the voice that sounds like Matt in a whisper. That's the evil thoughts. Those are the temptational thoughts, the implanted thoughts that come into my mind. I don't plan at fucking 7:30 in the morning when I wake up that I'm going to fucking want to relapse at 5.
No.
It's not a planned thought. No, but tying my shoes is.
Yes.
So if I plan to tie my shoes, it's my own thought. If I fucking have an intrusive thought later on in the day that comes from a trigger somewhere, what the fuck is thinking for me if I'm thinking about crack or thinking about hookers, thinking about this or that or the other? Bro.
That's spirit.
That's that spirit, right. So anyways, I say, I bet you can't do it again. I go to sleep. motherfucker, if I don't wake up at 5:35,
I'm in it early.
listen to this, and I fucking laugh.
Yeah.
I fucking told ya.
Yeah.
And I look at the clock, tick, 5:36. I go, fuck you. All my roommates, what's going on?
Yeah.
Right, I wake everybody up, fuck you, I go. I'm like, man, like 3 days in a row, eh?
Yeah.
And that's what I really, and I never woke up again at 5:36 in the morning.
But
It was just like, dude, like, so, like, yeah, I helped out with breakfast for a week after that, and fucking, they didn't need me anymore, but like,
still, yeah.
it was a fucking slap in the head, bro.
Yeah.
Like you said, spiritual things, like you said, I don't know about
they
you.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they happen every. I'll tell you, I was doing the security walk around here, and there's a spot in that dining room, man. When you're there and the place is shut down, there's a spot in that dining room. Every time I would go there, I would get goosebumps. Man.
Yeah, eh?
I would get goosebumps, and I don't know. I've heard some things that's the Holy Spirit touching here, or spirits touching here, or whatever. But every single night when I did that security walk, that same spot, I would get. It's almost.
Is it the hallway by the fucking where the girls and the guys meet?
Right in between,
right there, yeah. Bro.
Something's going on in that dining room at night here. Whatever you want to say about it, I don't know, but I know a lot of people have said the same thing.
It's funny because I knew where you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a door at the end of the hall there.
Yeah.
You have to check it.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even, after the meetings, on my program, I would, after the 6 o'clock meeting, I would always get changed and go play basketball for an hour. And, it was kind of my exercise for the day or whatever, and also just to kind of unwind from the day. And, if guys wanted to come up and play, whatever. If not, I would dribble by myself. I'd play, I'd shoot, and it was good exercise. It was summer, it was nice. And I'd always go to the hill near the tracks, and I'd always look at the sun and the clouds.
Because that's where it's setting?
And that's where it's setting, and it's just beautiful there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, I would look around and it would just be like, I knew
complete
everything was
calm.
Yeah, I knew everything was going to be okay. Everything. I felt like very like my day meant something. And it was like
fulfilling.
Yes, exactly.
It's like a closure to your day.
It was nice, and just there's so many spots around here, man. But also you ever sit in group and you almost feel it, you can feel like you're just like really engaged and really in group, like, and you can almost feel like
there's a purpose to it.
Yeah, it's like there's a reason why I'm sitting here right now. There's a reason, and then you go, you hear somebody say something, and then you go and you share your experience with them, and we feed off.
It could be a major pivotal turning point for somebody's recovery.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and 100%, bro. Every soul here has a purpose for every soul here.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And we're all put here for a reason, right?
Yeah.
We're all here together for a reason at a certain time.
That's right.
And I believe that.
Well, Jeremy, I appreciate you coming on. We're going to shut this down.
Yeah.
In conclusion, I will say that it's been a blessing having you take your recovery so serious, and a blessing for you to come on the show because, bro, I've been hoping and praying that we could have done this for a long time.
Right.
And I'm glad that it's happened, man. It's a blessing, and I truly thank you. And please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already done so. And if you have, please spread the word. Thank you guys very much. Another episode of Hours of Clarity concluded.
Thanks,
Jeremy. I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, buddy.